I'm Satin, and welcome to Rooted in Real,
where genuine conversation meets grounded perspective. Hey y'all!
Hey y'all! Episode 25.
25 of the Rooted in Real with AJ and Satin podcast. Woo, woo, woo! I need to figure out how to make applause on this thing. I wonder if this will do it. We'll see in a second. I pushed the button. We'll see if it did it for real.
Yeah, this your episode that you'll be editing.
True. Okay.
True. Right.
So episode 25, we are calling this Familial Opps. Opps in the Bible, specifically.
Yeah, biblical familial ops.
You know, there's so many of these folks that was just at each other's throats all the time.
Haters.
Hateration. Just everywhere. Okay, Mary J. Blige was talking about them.
Yeah, she was talking about them.
So we're going to talk about a few different familial ops that we found interesting. Now, of course, you could always go with Cain and Abel. Very first familial ops.
Yeah.
And to me, I'd be like, Lord, why we do that to poor Abel? He was doing everything he had to do.
The first family.
The first family. And Cain had to go in there and cut him short.
Yeah.
So jealous. But I think it also gives you, because, you know, nothing's new.
Yeah,
right?
nothing's new.
Nothing's new. So it also, you know, if you were having some of those same thoughts, about your family, you now have a story that shows you what happens when you let that jealousy get too far.
It does. Jesus says in Matthew 10 and 36, he warns, and a man's foes shall be they of his own household. That's where they start.
You start with your sibling rivalry.
And it makes sense because if a parent is favoring another sibling, and I've mentioned this before, that's prevalent in Asian dramas that I watch.
Yes.
You know, girls and boys, or the oldest son, or the youngest son that seems like he has, he's
the
smarter.
Yeah,
the golden child. Yes.
So that's what I think about. And I mean, it's, of course, you know, it feels unfortunate. It feels unfair for Abel to have to die like that.
Yes.
For other people to be able to experience and have a story that they can look back on and say, okay, look, if I let it get too far,
right,
I might end up doing something I'm gonna regret to my brother.
But that's what we call it now, testimony.
True.
I've experienced it, I lived it, and I survived it. Well, in this case, he didn't survive, but
I mean, Cain learned the valuable lesson.
Cain did learn a valuable lesson.
He survived because the Lord could have struck him dead right then for killing that boy, but he chose not to. He chose to let him live the rest of his days in a rough way.
That's why we have a merciful God.
He is merciful.
He is so merciful.
Because, I mean, struck down is what he could have been.
Yeah,
because other people have
struck
been.
down.
Because other people in the Bible definitely were smoted. Smited.
That's
Smoked.
it. They were smited.
I'm going to go with smote. He smoked them.
Right. And for those of y'all who are unfamiliar, Cain and Abel, there's a cautionary tale, as we said, but it's because God favored Abel's offering
over Cain's.
Because
Abel gave him the first of his, while Cain said, I got these scraps and let me give it to God.
Right.
Even though God is the reason you even have all the things that you have.
Right. And that jealousy just rose up, green-eyed.
Led that boy out into the field to kill him.
And he committed a murder.
The first murder of the Bible.
Do you know how... Anyway, yes, first murder of the Bible.
First murder.
Yes. Another one is Jacob and Esau.
Ooh, child. When I tell you that if I was Esau, not only did this boy take my birthright.
Yeah.
You done tricked our daddy. Got our mama like you more because she done got in on it too to help you trick our daddy.
Yeah.
While I'm out here, you know, trying to gather the stuff and get the lamb or whatever he was supposed to be getting, the sheep, whatever he was supposed to be getting for her to make to bring the food to his daddy for him to bless him. He got that working hard for it. She done already got something in the background and then gave the stew to Jacob to give to the dad. Then put hair from some animal on his arms because Esau is hairy. Yeah. The daddy was is it Isaac? Isaac. Yeah, he was blind at this point, so he had no idea who he was talking to. He tried to lower his voice. Yeah. Did all the stuff.
And
he even was like, "You show that shoe?"
See, look, now Esau? That's that manipulation you was talking about. That's what they was doing.
Yes. He even like, "Are you sure that's you?" And he like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, you do feel like Esau."
Right, and I think it's important to note they weren't just regular siblings; they were twins.
Yes.
So the pain, the hurt, the anger that you must feel to be betrayed by somebody who was in there with you.
In the womb.
At the same time.
Share the womb. Don't mean nothing. They always say blood ain't thicker than water.
Not between Jacob and Esau.
No. So then Esau was mad. Now eventually Esau does forgive him. Because you know what? One thing about it is Esau, he was out like hunting or whatever.
Right.
And technically, he told Jacob he could have the birthright because Jacob got him when he was real tired.
Yeah, he got him when he was real tired.
He was starving. He was thirsty. Probably on the brink. Like, the way they talk about it in the Bible, it sounded like he was on the brink of, like, passing out and such. So he's like, yes, whatever. Like, whatever you want, just give me something to eat.
Right, and I think a side note, which is important to notate, is that this is something that should be relevant to Christians or followers of Christ, is that when you get weak, when you get down, when you get out, you have to watch and listen to the voice that is in your ear, whether that's a person or whether that's your own, because the things that they're coming to you with may not necessarily be for your good. It may be to steal your birthright. So you have to be important and be on guard.
You heard it. Might be to steal your birthright. You need to use your discernment. Yes. And pray before you just say yes, sure.
Right.
When you're weak is the time that somebody will get you.
Right, and that's also the other side note of fasting. Because you are pushing your plate away, or you pushing something away, and you're in a state of weakness. And when you're in a weakness, that's when the enemy comes. That's why all of a sudden you have never craved a chocolate chip cookie. You don't even like chocolate.
I don't even want that food. I don't even want it. But I don't even like chocolate. I can't have it. I want it all.
I want it all, and that's what happens. You have to be careful when you're weak. What is speaking to you, and what is speaking to you, and what is it asking you to do or asking from you? Because it could be stealing your birthright.
Man,
so
that
deep.
Was good.
So
that
deep.
Was good.
Yes. It forced Jacob to flee for 20 years.
Right. And then he had to wrestle with that angel.
Yeah. I will not let go until you bless me.
Yes.
That's why when we talk about the hip and the thorn in your flesh and all of those things, it's like, man.
Because if you don't know, the angel basically he dislocated Jacob's hip because this man was fighting with him all night long.
Right.
After he done ran off from taking Esau's blessing.
Right. And that's also another side of the rivalry, is that once you come into a knowledge and understanding that you have done wrong and God is giving you mercy and you have did what you need to do to ask for forgiveness, there are still things that are God has already had in line for you. And it is okay to have been forgiven after you've asked for forgiveness and done the work that you need to do, to go to that source, your mother, your father, and God, and say, God, these things were already laid out for me. I messed up. I corrected my mistakes. You have forgiven me. Please give me these things, or please bless me. It is okay. Sometimes you do have to wrestle. So sometimes when people say, I know God has promised me this, I was prophesied this 10 years ago. And then you go through 10 years of not doing what you're supposed to do, or failing, or being in rebellion, or whatever the case may be. And then you say, but God told me I can have these things. And then you think, but why isn't he giving it to me? Go wrestle with that joker. Go before him, do the fast and do the prayer, humble yourself and say, God,
don't forget to repent.
I will not let go until you bless me. Yes. Another one was, of course, we talked about this in another episode, Joseph and his brothers.
Now, and I still stand by my earlier statement that I might have thrown that man in the pit too. Because, y'all, if you watch that episode, I don't even remember which one it was, but if you watch that episode, so you clearly is favored, like it's 12 of us. But all of us know that you like this one more. And I'm supposed to just be cool with that? I'm supposed to just say that's fine? After years of that ain't just like, he didn't just all of a sudden become the favorite. He's been the favorite probably since he was born. Or at least since he was in a toddler state. Like, he's been the favorite for a long time.
Right.
Years and years and years of hearing how you're better than me, you're better than me, you're better than all of us. It ain't like we girls. We all boys.
Yeah.
All sons that could do so much for this man and give him, the nation that he's looking for, and have all the children and do all the things. But you like him more?
Overt favoritism.
He can go.
Overt favoritism.
Sell him.
The coat of many colors. So famous.
Sell him and his coat.
And also what happened is, it wasn't just he was overtly favored. It was because of the dreams and visions that he had. And he was proud. And I'm not talking about proud like, oh, I'm glad I did it. I'm talking about boasting proud. Oh, I did. This is the dream I had. It says, his dreams of grandeur fueled the intense jealousy.
Sell him.
So it wasn't just he was favorite. He was the favorite. It was because also he reveled in that favoritism. Yeah. And he used it to his benefit at the expense of others.
As he should.
I still do feel sorry for him, but only in the sense of, because he was the youngest, and he was the youngest and didn't know better.
The next youngest.
The next youngest, The next youngest.
So he wasn't even the last one.
Right, he just didn't know better.
And he found out when he got put in that pit.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
But they eventually reconciled. And
eventually, because they needed him.
Right, they did need him, but I said that's also important to note that reconciliation is possible.
It is always possible.
And, again, another side note, I'm probably done 15 side notes already in this episode. I haven't, that's exaggerated. But That's something that I noticed. Like I was telling her before we started the episode that me and my dad hung out yesterday. And we hang out, we hadn't done it in a while, but we used to hang out once a week. And I gained some weight. And I was like, we can't be going out eating. But in us hanging out together yesterday, the entire day, the thing that was running through my mind is I thank the Lord for reconciliation. Because had he not done the work to work towards me forgiving him, and had not I opened my heart and been humble enough to receive and offer grace and mercy, we wouldn't be at this place of reconciliation.
This relationship wouldn't be possible. You wouldn't be. They wouldn't be thriving like it is.
Right. So it is possible to have reconciliation after trauma, after pain, when everybody does the work.
Everybody has to do their part.
Everybody has to do the work, and that's what happened with Jacob and his brothers. They did. Joseph and his brothers, they did have a point of reconciliation, even if the start of that reconciliation was because they needed him.
Because of the famine.
Right. But what he also learned is humility.
He did have to learn some humility.
And he did have to learn how the gifting that God gave him, which was through visions and dreams, how to hone that in and how to know when to speak and when not to speak.
I wonder if he learned it after he was in the pit, after he got sold to slavery, after he was in jail.
I think he learned it when he had to go before.
There were so many things that
wasn't
happened
it? I think it was when he was with Pharaoh and he was. I want to say that might not have been correct, and somebody will correct me. But I want to say it was when he the king. Yeah, the king. I think it was Pharaoh. He went to the king and he was helping him decipher a dream. I think that's when it happened because he was like,
let me humble myself.
Right, because if I'm not mistaken, I believe he was in his approach in telling what needed to be said about the dream. He was very cautious.
Okay.
I want to say that, and if I'm not, somebody correct me.
We'll look it up.
Yeah, somebody
and
correct me.
mention it in our next episode if you were wrong.
Yes.
So one that I didn't realize, and I know I've read the Gospels multiple times. If you're not sure what the Gospels are, that's Matthew, Mark, Luke and John. It's all basically their recounting of being with Jesus.
The same story.
Same story in different ways, different views. Because
that's a good perspective. Look.
Yes, but you know what's funny? I always think it's funny that when people make content about John.
Yeah.
Because John added some stuff that ain't nobody else adding in.
Yeah.
That John he was more loved, or that he was that he made it to the tomb the first.
Yeah.
Nobody else mentions that he made it first.
John might have been a little prideful.
He might have been, but he said, "Hey, if I get to write a book, I'm gonna put my part in it."
Man, he is the main character. If you write your own story, be the main character.
Be the main character. That's what you learn from John.
Yeah.
But so what I didn't realize that Jesus and his earthly family, they technically had them a little familial op.
Yeah, they did.
So
they did.
In John, I was reading it. So I read John 7:1-8. It talks about how they were going to Judea, but Jesus didn't want to go to Judea because the Pharisees and such, they were looking for him. And he was like, nah, it ain't my time yet. I'm not gonna go with y'all. Yeah. And his brother was like, why don't you go? Why don't you go show everybody what you've been doing?
Can you imagine Jesus being your enemy?
Like, you out here taunting Jesus?
Well, see, let me tell you something. He ain't Jesus in my household. He my brother.
That's my brother. That's just like any other time. Like the president, that's just my brother. I don't care about the president. I don't care about you ruling America. That's just my little brother.
That's just my little brother.
And that's how they felt. Why don't you... All sarcastic. And it says in that, at the end of that, is because they did not believe him.
Right.
They didn't believe in him or about all the things that he was going to do.
I mean, well, it says your first, as we said at the beginning, it'll be your family.
In your household.
It'll be in your household.
Come on, man. I mean, at that point, things have been prophesied.
Yeah.
His mama know.
Yeah.
Because she was, even the start of Jesus, the conception of Jesus, tells you that he is something special.
He is something special.
Even if you don't believe that he's the Messiah, you know that he's something special.
That's right.
And you still like, why don't you go show everybody what you can do? Sir, you lucky Jesus ain't strike you down right there.
You lucky.
You are blessed.
But
Jesus did not say, Droop.
That's right. But in his wisdom, he was like, they are seeing me as their brother.
Yeah.
He didn't smite them in their ignorance.
In their ignorance. And he was the oldest too. He the first. I'm the oldest, and y'all talking to me like that? You talking to me all crazy?
Yeah.
I don't have oldest sibling energy because I am not one, but still. I feel like that's not how you do that.
I'm not the oldest, but I did mention in episode 20 about my brother being the favorite. My older brother being the favorite.
Yeah.
And I love him. He's my favorite. He's my favorite. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Out of all my siblings.
Dang.
Yeah.
I don't have a favorite, just so y'all know.
Yeah.
Hi. Love y'all both. Don't be getting me in trouble.
No, I have a favorite. Rico is my favorite. He knows he's my favorite too. It's fine.
He know, and he probably dangerous with that. No, I know I'm sad and favorite.
He has said I think he said on multiple occasions to people, I ain't gonna cross that because I don't want her to stop talking to me.
I don't want to leave me alone.
Man.
I don't want to get cut off.
Because he know I'll do it.
Quick.
He's my favorite and I still cut you off. Now, but
Don't act wrong.
But I will say what constitutes in him being the favorite is that if he does something that hurts me or offends me or whatever, and I do cut him off, I will come back and apologize to make it correct because I love him that much. His favor is that ever present in my life that I'll come back and do it. Now, have I done it to my other siblings? No. So as we discussed about Jesus and his siblings.
Think it's something on the ceiling.
No.
That was so matter of fact.
Yeah,
But
it has matter of fact.
I
I haven't, and I don't believe I ever will.
get it.
Yeah, I mean, unless the Lord says it. But I just felt like whatever separation is present with me and my other siblings is necessary. Yeah, I didn't cut them off just because I was upset at something that happened in a moment.
Right. It was over time.
It was intentional.
Yeah.
It was intentional. It was well thought out. It was prayed over. And therefore, that's why I know, and I believe, like I'll say this with my older brother, the things that he say or do that may offend me or cause harm, or may I think is causing harm to me, is not to cause harm to me.
Yeah,
it is because he's older and he has wisdom and he does love me and his intentions are pure.
Yeah.
When he is disciplining me or correcting me or talking to me or expressing something to me, and I haven't felt that pure intention with any of my other siblings in those same situations.
I get it.
So
go ahead.
So it's easier for me to humble myself and apologize. And he also, in those times when I do humble myself and apologize, he doesn't come back and be like, I told you so, da, da, da.
Yeah.
He accepts it for what it
Embraces
is. He has already analyzed maybe where he didn't do something the right way or say something the right
Maybe
way.
He could have said it differently. Maybe put a little more honey on it or something.
Right. And and
you have to meet people where they are sometimes
Right.
when you're giving them correction.
Right, and he's done that. And so I think that's why our relationship has stood the test of time.
And on the subject of cutting people off, I know that's not technically what we're talking about, but even when you're talking about your family, people will tell you that, like, you can't do that because you a Christian, right? But what I do believe, and I think I've said this before, but like reconciliation does not always mean that y'all are now buddy again, that you're back in each other's lives. It just means that now I've forgiven you for what you've done, but maybe your presence in my life is not what I need.
Right.
Maybe your presence is detrimental to me and my journey with the Lord.
That's right, because our relationship have been reconciled. Oh, we have been reconciled, but we are not necessarily connected.
We're not connected. That's a good word for that. Like I have forgiven you.
Yes.
I wish you nothing but the best in this life. If something were to change where you become different, maybe we could talk about it. Maybe we could think about it. But right now, if you continue to be the way that you are, I've decided that I can love you from a distance.
Right.
But if things were to change, I'm always open to maybe not have, letting you back in a little bit. If you were to actually have real fundamental change.
Yes, and that's all. It also speaks to you can be in the same situation with, like, you can be in the same place with them, have a reconciled relationship, and have little to no interaction, and it doesn't mean there's any animosity attached to it.
Right. Yeah.
No animosity, no anger, no hurt feelings.
Right. I get you.
Yeah. Right.
100%.
Okay. Another one is Miriam, Aaron. Or is it Aaron? Aaron.
I call him Aaron. Aaron.
Aaron. And Moses.
Oh,
excuse me, Moses. It was the sibling leadership tension.
Yes.
That was
but
involved
also,
with them.
didn't Moses marry like a Cushite?
He did.
Like he married somebody.
Yeah. So Aaron rebelled against their brother Moses out of jealousy over his leadership and his marriage to a Cushite woman.
Look at me.
An act that resulted in Miriam being temporarily struck with leprosy. So me and you got a problem because you married this person that you weren't supposed to marry, and it brought hell and damnation and fire on our
I got
household.
leprosy because you did something wrong.
Because you did something wrong. Beat your head.
You listen. I don't want to be that connected.
Yeah.
And that's what I told you. I was like, you need to chill out because you're too connected. We too connected.
They ain't got nothing to do with me.
Feel what I can feel. If I do something happens, you getting leprosy. Y'all saw that face change. She was
instantly disconnect.
Like Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Instantly disconnect. Yeah.
So that is wild to be that connected and to be in relationships so close.
Right.
That the Lord was like, all right, you get some too.
Right.
I ain't even do nothing.
And you know what that puts me in mind of is two becoming one in marriage. I'll give you an example. Okay, I have a friend, and she was married to a guy that had been married forever. And she did all the things she needed to do to make sure she upkept the household and the kids and all of the stuff. And he was supposed to handle something with the home, like the mortgage or something. He did not handle the things with the mortgage. And the bank ended up taking the house. He didn't even do his part in letting her know. She found out on a whim, and she then in turn had to figure out where her kids was gonna go. But how she figured out where they needed to go is her kids were at home, she was at school. I think I was at school as well. We were going to 2 different colleges at the time because we were non-traditional students. So it was adults married with kids, and her kids were trying to reach her and couldn't, to tell her that the sheriff was at their door to put them out. And I remember her coming to me to say, "Why do I have to suffer when he didn't do what he was supposed to do?"
Right.
And I remember audibly telling her, it's because the 2 became one. And so you're so connected that the experiences that his default in whatever he does negatively, his negative experience or his lack of negatively affects you. Now, that didn't stop at that. I went on and we explained some other things, and the situation got resolved. And there was a very funny story behind it that I won't get into because it might be criminal. It is criminal. It's not might. It is criminal. But there was some things that I did on behind the scenes to help her get through
I remember
that.
this story.
Yeah. It was.
It's criminal. Crook activities.
But that is a good example of the 2 becoming one. We were 2, we became one, and now the things that you experienced, I experienced.
Yeah.
The pain that you feel, I also feel. And that's also how they talk about twin telepathy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like one gets hurt, they ain't even in the same state.
Right.
And the other one also feels that pain.
Right, and so that's how it relates to sibling rivalry, is that we're so connected.
Too connected if I'm out here getting leprosy because you ain't married the right person.
That's right, man. I'm telling you, I'm
Too
on it.
connected. I don't want,
And I'm on that head. And I was in that situation. So moving on.
Yeah.
The other one was Absalom and Amnon. Did I pronounce
Is that
right?
the one, Absalom and Amnon, his brother that he killed? We talking about that one?
It was his half brother. Yeah, Absalom had his half brother murdered.
He did some things. Yeah, he had him.
Yeah,
he didn't even do it.
because it was in revenge for
his sister.
Yep.
He did
Tamar.
He did some things to Tamar.
Yeah.
That you're supposed to do with your husband and your wife.
That's right.
And not with your sister.
Right.
Because that was his half sister.
That was
as
his
well.
half sister.
I think Tamar might have been Absalom's full sister, maybe.
Yeah.
But Amnon.
Yeah.
Either way, they was all siblings.
Right.
Whether half or full, they were siblings.
Yeah.
So he had this man off at a party. Told them folks, get him.
This is how we do it. You got to die.
Because you messed with my sister.
Right. I think in this situation, he deserved it.
Listen,
Baby, I deserve.
Listen, we cannot condone such behavior. What he should have done was take that to the Lord and let the Lord deal with his brother about what he did to his sister.
That is the proper way, but I'm telling you right now.
Something would have to happen.
If you abuse my sibling, let's take it a step further. If you abuse my child, say you the step parent or you the biological parent, father or mother, and you actually, we don't say now. I don't know if you get blocked or something.
Can't be saying all them extra words.
Yeah, abuse my child. You're going to meet your maker, and in my mugshot, I'm happily smiling. You deserved it.
Like a crazy person.
Yeah. You can follow the Lord way. You pray for me in my incarceration. The next one, you pray for me in my incarceration.
Wait. So then you got Absalom and his brother, but then you got Absalom and David.
That's right.
Absalom here trying to take over and take David out. He want to be in charge.
He want to be in charge.
Absalom was, and you know what? We were talking about that before. That if this man was willing to take out his sibling,
yes,
you know he willing to take out.
You
anybody
know he gonna take out anybody else.
He can do it. He'll take out anybody else because to get what he wants.
In order to get the throne, you got to take out the king. That's what Rio said in.
I was like, you said that too easy. Like, who you taking out? Who you plotting on?
That's also. I want to say that it's the
Rio and what?
In Good Girls.
Oh, Rio. Get in the car, Elizabeth.
Yes. That's a modern take on that. But
yes.
But yes.
But yeah, so you got them too. So not only did this man have issues with, he had issues with multiple family members.
Yeah.
Multiple.
Yeah. And I want to say he was the problem. In the first, he was right. But you know what that also did? What that also made me realize is that by him murdering or getting his brother, half brother, whatever, murdered, it fueled. He opened up the door for
like
the
a
enemy.
bloodlust.
Right. Well, yeah. He opened up the door for the enemy to come in and already have a place. So that pride.
Yeah, but you got rid of him and everything was cool and you still here.
Right.
Why don't you go further than that?
Right. That pride and that arrogance, the enemy starts speaking to that. He boasts it up and it caused a small seed.
What she just told you was don't open the door for the enemy.
That's
and
right.
if you happen to do so, you need to close that thing right on up.
Right on up.
Because we all gonna make mistakes.
Yeah.
Close that.
Close it on up.
Nail it down.
Right.
Nail that door on down. Now.
That's
Don't
right.
Let it
First
in.
of all, he opened the door with something that I think should have probably been the last thing was murder. But
right, he started off.
Off strong.
The big one.
He started off right. But the enemy was already speaking. I don't want to say the enemy, because whatever it might have been. He took judgment into his own hands.
He did.
Yeah, he took
He
judgment.
did not go to God with that.
He was
at
a
all.
vigilante.
Yeah.
For sure.
For
Justified in my sense, but it probably it was unjustified. Yeah. So
what else you got?
okay, so now this is the name that you're gonna have to say. Adonijah.
Adonijah. Look at you. You got it. I was like, I can't say it the way I think I'm supposed to say it. We Googled it. So Google told us it was Adonijah.
Adonijah and Solomon.
We want to say Adonijah.
Yeah. And I think some people might pronounce it that way.
They probably would.
That's right.
Yes, talk about that one.
It was a deadly struggle for the throne. Another, if you want the throne, you got to take out the king.
Yeah.
Following the death of their father, King David. Again, back to David. David and his kids.
David started off wrong.
Let me say, David himself was a fighter.
David started off real wrong.
David was a fighter.
Well, we don't say started off, but once he started having them kids, when he stole that man's wife.
Yeah. Bathsheba.
The Lord punished him by killing off a kid, but you had to have something else happen.
Well, David was gonna be a problem when he took a stone or a pebble and he killed a giant. Let's just say this. David was King David for a reason.
He was.
And he's still talked about to this day for a reason.
He is.
But it was Solomon and
Adonijah.
I was gonna give you opportunity.
Adonijah.
Yes. So
I
they
feel like Adonijah better.
Yes. They were struggling for the throne for King David and
Adonijah.
Adonijah attempted to take the crown, but Solomon successfully secured the throne and later had
Adonijah
executed.
Got it. Sibling rivalries.
Yes, Solomon and him. And Solomon was a great leader.
He was a great leader.
Absolutely a great leader. And I mentioned
he did act up at the end, but
he did act up in the end, but he was definitely saying
doggone wives.
He did.
Child.
That's why.
Anyway,
we
talked
about going in the book, Song of Solomon, and finding out some, being in tune with yourself. But nevertheless, there were so many in the Bible, and it's such an interesting read. Like when people talk about they can't get into the Bible, I don't see
There's
how.
There's so many stories, and so the last one that I looked up, but I sent her a picture of it because I was like, I don't even know these people, but it was apparently Queen Jezebel's daughter.
Yeah.
Jezebel was exceptionally wicked, but so was this daughter.
Right.
So she then had this baby with a king, because two kings, Jehoshaphat and Ahab, were cool, so they had their kids get married.
Right.
So then she had a kid with the prince, whatever we calling him at the time.
Right.
And then he was the king, but then he got murdered, right? So somebody came and took him out. So instead of her being like, well, my next kid should get it, she said, I should have it. So then, because I think that might have been the only kid she had, but he had children before he passed away. So she had all of her grandchildren killed so that she could rule.
When you talk about Days of Our Lives,
her own grandkids.
The soap opera is operating.
That is
soap
crazy.
Yes.
Like, I ain't even heard of her for real, but I was like, that is wild. So when we talk about stories, talk about siblings, talk about familial ops, having your own grandkids taken out is a new one for me.
It's a new
level.
It's a new level.
That's a new level.
She on a new level. God, when I at the beginning of this episode, and I mentioned when God said your foes will come from your household, He meant that thing. He meant that thing.
He meant it. They sure do.
He do. And so you just have to be careful to operate in love and with an understanding to already be aware of every situation. And to not open doors.
Not open doors. Don't open doors for the devil to get in, for your own pride to step in, for anything that's not of God to step in with you.
That's right. And so some of those scriptural reference for Cain and Abel is Genesis 4. Jacob and Esau was Genesis 25 through 33. Joseph and his brothers is Genesis 37 and 50. Genesis 29 and 30 is for Leah and Rachel. And for
we didn't talk about them. But go look them up. That was a problem too.
Oh, yeah. Leah and Rachel, they were sisters caught in a marital rivalry.
Right. Because Jacob wanted Rachel, And then he said, oh, you got to work 7 years for her. So then he did that because he was like, that girl beautiful and I want her. So he worked for her. Then they tricked him, had him consummate his marriage to Rachel, but it ended up being Leah. So now, of course, in that day, you consummate the marriage, you got to keep the girl. He said, well, you got to work another 7 years to get Rachel. And did. So then he worked 14 years. 14 years. I don't know if this is backwards for y'all. 14 years to get that girl. And he got that girl.
That's right. He got that girl.
So then I read how Leah got children. Like the Lord gave Leah children because she was the less favored wife. Because he didn't want her to begin with.
That's right.
Ain't want her to begin with. And Rachel didn't really have any. She had
because
her servant have kids for him.
Right. And because it's almost like, well, God was like, it wasn't Leah's fault. She was just following the order of the day. Right. The order of the time.
Right.
Had to do what her father told her to do.
Because Rachel was the youngest.
Yes.
So for the youngest to get married before the oldest was too much.
Right, and that's a running theme in Asian shows. I'm always going to say that. Anyway, but yes, that's a running theme. Yes. Yeah, you sleep with them, you got to marry, you marrying them. That's it. That's it.
That's yours.
Whether you want to or not. But yes, Leah and Rachel was Genesis 29 and 30. Miriam, Aaron, and Moses was Numbers 12. Absalom and Amnon was 2 Samuel 13. And Solomon and Adonijah was 1 Kings 1 and 2. Side note, I love Kings. If you want to read the Bible, start the Bible and find out stories, even though there's a lot of names in there.
It's a lot of names.
Read Kings, listen to Kings. It's just so involved. Nevertheless, be careful not to open the doors because your familial ops may be from your family.
Yes.
Yeah.
They might be.
They might be. They might come.
The Lord said it starts there. So
it starts there. Be ready. Thank you guys for joining us for this episode. This was a good one.
It was a good one.
You know, I wanted to talk about this one.
I know you did. And I was like, that's a good one.
That's a good one. I got a couple familiar ops myself. You know, which is probably, if you know me, you're like, yeah, I'm not surprised.
Not surprised.
Not surprised. Thank you guys for joining us on episode 25
of the Rooted and Real with AJ and Satin podcast.
Thank you guys. We hope to see you guys on our next episode. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow on the various social media sites.
Yes. Bye.